arts, entertainment and lifestyle. ChaKra TV. It never ends.
Hello and welcome to Silver Talks with me, Minol Dee on ChaKra TV. Now on the show today I have with me a well-renowned TV personality, and not only that, he's now a personality development and corporate etiquette trainer. One and only Kumar de Silva. Welcome to the show.
My great pleasure. Thank you for having me on the show.
And after many failed attempts,
This was jinxed, badly jinxed interview.
we were supposed to do this in January, so 8 months down the line. Okay, all in good time. As
Mainly my fault, and one day his fault. So
Yes.
it's really mine.
Right, so before I get things started, I gotta say, I feel quite overwhelmed because he is somebody that I looked up to when I was very young. Okay, we're not going to reveal our ages here, but
I'm 60 December this year.
okay, we're going to be touching 40. So it's going to be very overwhelming session for me because, like I said, it's somebody that I looked up to when I was young, and we'll get into that slowly. We'll unfold all the stories as we progress. Right, to start things off, Kumar. This gift of the gap, was it something you're born with or you trained it down the line?
Surprisingly, I was a very bad stammerer. I couldn't talk. Stammer started years in school. SLBC was there was no Rupavahini. I sent applications to SLBC. I went for screen tests. I failed and failed and failed. I stammer, I stutter. I became a joke and then I stopped. Then came ITL, Rupavahini, Moswa. I failed 8 screen tests and I managed to scrape through the 9th one. Even a cat has 9 lives, as we know. So that was my winning number 9, and it's been a journey. It's been a journey of I think 35-40 years now. I still stammer, but I've overcome it a lot. But there's a 5% in me that stammers. I used to stammer badly in Sinhala. I managed to overcome that also. I think it's all here. It's either it's hereditary or it's psychological. I think in my case it was psychological. So anyone out there who's stammerer, simple solution, simple. Talk to the mirror. When you talk to the mirror, you see yourself. There's a person there. That person makes mistakes that you make, and he doesn't laugh at you because he's you or he or she's you. So you actually learn from yourself. You get comfortable and comfortable. So talk to the mirror. I spoke for hours that last screen test the day before. And by the way, I was Sri Lanka's worst ever news reader. Because you put a script into my hand, I can't read the script. I get stuck. Then I start to stammer. But I can talk till tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
It just go on. So I got myself sacked as a news reader because I thought I was bad and it was harming my other brand. So I actually made mistakes on purpose at ITL one night on news, and I got myself sacked. And wasn't I happy?
There you go. So this passion for MC, comparing, announcing, whatever you call it, was it something that you're born with, like I said, or was it something that you trained yourself into?
See, first began TV, most of all. So that's it. There was only ITN and Rupavahini. You had no choice but to watch us. There were nothing else.
Yes.
You had no choice. Yes. So we had a compulsory audience actually. No fault of mine. So then there was MCing. It came, I think, as a spin-off. And I remember the first ever time I MC'd was a dance. This was in 87, I think. And first time, no training, I was so nervous. I smoked 2 packs. I don't smoke. I smoked 2 packs of cigarettes before I got on stage. And then well, I thought it helped. But see, it's a journey. You got to invest in yourself. You got to invest in yourself and just talk. Just, and do what you do best. What you can't do best, quit. Like my news reading.
Yeah. I'm sure you're glad that you quit news reading.
Yes.
Compared to the situation right now in the country.
Oh yes, of course.
Right, so let's get back to Fan Club. Was that your first show or Bonsoir?
Bonsoir was first.
Okay.
Fan Club was a story because Fan Club, so there was Bonsoir, and I think 2 years later there was Aisha Guru ChaKra who did Fan Club. So I used to go to ITL to do Bonsoir once a week, and one night she had not come, something happened, and they said, Karan, Bulwanda. I said, fine, Karan. So I speak English anyway, got somebody's shirt, piano and driver, somebody's shirt, a colored shirt and went and did Fan Club. And then they said, okay, you're on now, you're a temporary, she should go overseas. So you're a temporary replacement. so do fan club until we find a suitable replacement. So I ran for 15 years and they did not find a suitable replacement.
Temporary ran for 15
years. And I did it, so fine. I had won awards as well.
Yeah.
And again, so Bonsoir fan club I quit when I turned 40. Your age, that was 20 years ago. As I told you, I always say you need to quit when you're right on top. Your best. Why are you talking to me? Because if I was still doing fan, now enough, Uncle, get out now. You're done.
Yeah, so, give us a chance now.
Exactly. So you need to quit when you're. It's tough. It was very tough. Quit when you're right on top, and then you're best remembered at that point, not when you're going down.
And you're still remembered for that.
Yeah, that's why you're talking to me.
Yeah. So anything after that, would you want to do a conference show?
So then I've done talk shows on ITN and TNL as well, which are Rupavahini also. So I've done various Buddhist programs or poems, lots of things I've done. But the main foundation was of course Bonsoir.
Just to pick up on that point, you're not a Buddhist by birth.
I'm a convert.
Okay. Any reason?
Belief.
Okay. Conviction.
I was 14 years old.
Okay. Was there any family obstacles?
So there was an issue in the family, and then I asked myself, what I believed in did not have the answer. There was a logical answer in what I chose to believe after. So that's what happened.
So has that helped?
A lot. Practicing Buddhist actually. It's a way of life. It is not a religion. You don't need to go to temple and worship, holy worship. It's a stepping stone, but it's all how you conduct your life.
How has that helped in your career into becoming what you are right now?
With all due respect to every other religion in this world, I think they all teach good. It just taught me impermanence, that you are not God's gift to mankind. One day I'll be in a grave rotting with maggots all around me, coming out of my eyes and nose and mouth, and that's me. I'll be burning in a crematorium, stumbling there in a crematorium somewhere. So you need to tell us that nobody is God's gift to mankind. Look at our current president. Whoever thought that he would end up there? A massive journey, educated, intelligent man, and when he lost the election, he was reduced to almost -0. Who ever thought? Even when Aragali happened, did you ever think that he would come there? So this is what life is. One day you're there, next day you're the president of Sri Lanka. So
now you're not going to believe what I'm going to say right now. I was very skeptical into asking about the Aragali. Now since he brought it up himself, good point. What do you mean about this Aragali?
So I think it had a.
Were you part of it?
Partially, yes. I think everybody was.
Yeah.
Most of Sri Lanka was.
Yes.
So yes, it had a purpose. It served its purpose, and then things happened. The person they wanted out was out, and I think it had to physically take a pause. Because you cannot go out there and pitch tent and you can't shout for months and months and months. Yeah. It exploded. What happened? Yes. So it's going to physical pause, but it is still there in the background.
Yeah, in our hearts, no?
Yeah, in our hearts, and people are still, those. So there, it opened windows that you don't need to sit very passively and just accept everything that happens. That you can protest and you can make your voice heard, and that's what people did.
Yeah. From Arbale, we come to our political scenario in the island. I mean, you started way back in the 80s, and compared to the situation right now, how is the country? I mean, it's a given answer, but
finally, for me, it's going back. Because when I was born in the 70s, there was no bread, there was no rice, there was no kerosene oil, there was no food, there was no textiles to sew shirts, there were no saris. We stood in queues. I stood in the palm polymer in Kerala. My mother went at 4:30 in the morning. This was before 77, at end of Mrs. B's era. 4:30 in the queue. Then we wake up at 6 and we stand in the queue at 6 o'clock in the morning for 2 precious loaves of bread. 4 people in the house, you get 2 loaves. 2 people get 1 loaf. And that was precious. We stood in the hard polymer. We stood in the Sini polymer. We used to not have clothes to sew shirts. There was kerosene oil, printed, colored,
really
cotton like this. One was the color runs in the batik. My mother used to be, all the people that age wore kerosene oil saris. The prints were made out of bhumi, and they smelled of kerosene oil. And you washed it just turned color. So there were no eggs at a certain time. So all this that's happening now, people of my age and older than me, it's a deja vu. We have seen this before and we have lived through this before. Yeah, how many years? 40 years or 50 years? Yeah. So I thought, oh my God, and I'm growing manyokka, I'm growing batalan, which I did as a child. I'm growing chilies, I'm growing kangkung, I'm growing gotugola, I'm growing something else. So all these things, it's a whole thing. I'm reliving my childhood today. It's crazy.
What do you think the reason behind the whole scenario? Why did it happen to Sri Lanka? We have had lots of resources, even when it comes to human resources and natural resources, we have everything. Why the country in a situation like this?
Leaving aside all the personal, all those things, I think it was bad mismanagement. We had it all. We could have been in Singapore first, and they set up. So what happened? Right from independence, from 1948, all these politicians, I think it was mainly all of them mismanagement. Yes, there was a war. We had lots of issues. You know, we had the 71 insurrection, we had the 83 riots, we had the 89 insurrection. We had all that. But still, if it was managed properly, and even with the massive defense budget of the 30-year war, still the country ran.
Yeah.
I think you strip all the personal anger, all the personal, the revenge and all that, and deep down, it purely was mismanagement. Better managed, I'm sure it would have been a completely different story now.
With all the fame you had back in the day and you still have it, have you ever thought of getting into politics by any chance?
Never. Fame, you used the word, not I. Fame is something very temporary. You're gone and you're gone. It's all a part of your life. When I'm old and Korean, you know, on my sick bed, will you ever come and talk to me? No, you have a life to live. So it's all. So one needs to remember this is enjoy the present moment. Everything is now, just now. Today is gone and tomorrow you don't know. So enjoy the present moment. But talking of the word fame, one needs to remember that nobody is God's gift to mankind. I'm doing a job, you're doing a job. I love my job. I moved, I gave up. I moved because I thought, fine, this is nice. So remember, if any person, you walk with your feet on the ground and your head on your shoulders and you are not God's gift, to be as simple and humble as you are better remembered that way than being an obnoxious snob or whatever like that. We spoke of certain people now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So wealth and fame can make or break a person. So choose to be remembered when you are dead. That's the main thing, the afterlife.
Sure. With that words of wisdom, we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to continue our chat with Kumar de Silva.
Arts, entertainment and lifestyle. ChaKra TV. It never ends.
Welcome back to the show as we continue our chat with one and only Kumar de Silva, and let's talk to him about his media career one more time. Kumar, when was the last time you were on screen?
Past talk shows I've done.
Okay. Speaking of which, anything but...
There was anything but which went for a long time. There was also Aperitif with Kumar, which was after that, lots of stuff.
Was that your concept? So,
in collaboration with us.
Any reason why you stopped all the shows?
Colombo is a very small place, and I spoke to a lot of people. But then you can't repeat people. It's boring. Will you have me again next year? Same old shit I'm talking.
Does that mean that you have run out of people?
Sorry?
You have run out of people?
I thought I had, yes.
Yeah.
So, there were lots of them. So Lanka finished and now move on.
That's the reason why I interviewed him. Because he has run out of people. So it's now time for us to interview him. Right. So, getting back to your media career. So, you've been on primetime TV many times. Why don't we see you on primetime TV anymore? I mean, ours is like more digital based.
I mean primetime TV.
Yeah.
There is no TV in my house to begin with. I watch it on my phone.
Okay.
No, number one, it isn't paying. Bills have gone up, there's inflation, there's cost of living, so you need to earn to live. And no, I'm not interested. I think that's all behind me now.
So are we going to see only on phone or that's it on TV?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
For the time being.
See, it's far more accessible.
Yeah.
So anywhere in the world, anyone can watch this chat of ours on a mobile phone, on a tablet, on a desktop. But if it's a TV, you need to sit in front of that box and watch it there. So it's
time consuming as well.
Yeah, it's time for that.
Yeah. So getting back to your MC, how do you prepare first of all for an event?
If you're nervous, talk to the mirror all the time. And if there is a script now, for example, the Miss Sri Lanka, there are scripts, there are certain things to say. And even now, even at this point of time, I still rehearse my script. I read my script at least 25 times. Very carefully. You mark the pauses with a slash, you underline the difficult words, you write the pronunciation in English or single or Tamil, the more difficult words, for example. Your Minol, not Minol, like Pinol, it's Minol, so it's a Minol. Right there, and you practice. The last time, you need to read your script, speech, whatever, backwards. You are unwiring and rewiring your brain. So you put your finger and you go, the boy is going home, is boy there. You do this and you do this, much better performance.
So what do you enjoy the most? About ceremonies or Miss Sri Lanka pageants or the dinner dances? What do you enjoy the most?
I've done all of them and I actually loved all of them because different audiences and different ways of behaving, serious stuff. So, but generally I'm a very bubbly person. So those very serious ones I find totally boring and it kills my soul. So I moved out of that because it's nice, good. Then I like to freak out a bit and even despite being an old uncle at my age, I still want to do that. So they are the visualizers, yes, and the dancers, yes.
Yeah. So are you the same person on stage, off stage?
No, two different people.
Okay.
I am completely me. You put this off, I switch to being completely. I'm actually an introvert.
Okay.
And I like to be alone. I don't like to go out. I don't. So if I have a choice, I'd rather be inside this and not go out.
So that's not multiple personality, right?
No,
they're not going there.
Yeah, it's just flip.
Reverse.
Yeah.
What's the word that can describe you? Okay, we'll come back to that.
I'll think, yeah.
Okay, your infatuation or obsession with the frogs, everybody knows it.
Yeah.
Okay, see, there you go. How did this happen?
So, the moment I started collecting frogs, I stopped eating frogs.
Okay.
Because one eats frogs, when it's frogs.
Yeah.
Long story, but then it's a hack story, so I'm sure you know it. Well, anyway, it began in France, in a village in the south of France, I think about 20 years ago or more than that. And then I started collecting. My first ever frog was, I bought it in Paris in this little flea market.
Okay.
He's not here. And then I've been collecting over the years. I've got about 300 plus frogs now.
In the house?
In the house. Then boxers, I thought I'd take a break. So a few out, but if you count them, they are like all over. They're all over. You see them all over the house.
So what's the obsession like? What
So
do you
why would a person collect coins and dinky cars and stamps, for example?
Same thing.
Jewelry, same thing.
There's nothing weird about it.
No,
you know?
but people think it's weird.
Yeah.
No, so.
But do you have any live frogs here in the house?
No, in the garden there.
Okay, in the garden area.
But the snakes come and eat them up, so I can't. Cycle of life, so I can't.
Those are not your pets, right?
No, those are to be say hi,
collectibles.
but don't come to the house.
Since you said that you're going to France, your French connection, let's talk about it. You have a big history with that.
It's my first language.
Okay. How did that become your first language?
So in 1970s, A-levels, and everybody wanted to become a doctor, lawyer, engineer, so I chose to do French and German and economics and English. I wanted to become a tour guide. But JR had become the president. He opened the country to tourism and it boomed. So I learned French and German, and I'm in school at university, degree, and then French. And then it was an accident. Bonsoir was a complete accident. I just walked into the program by accident. And it's been a journey ever since then. So coming and going up and down. So I speak it like I speak English, and I'm very happy, very comfortable. On that point, learn a foreign language, everybody. It opens the doors of the world to you. Yes, we are proud of being single Tamil, Burger, Muslim, Malay, wonderful. Speak your Sinhalese, speak your Tamil, speak your English, but you need to have one foreign language. Now it's Chinese. It opens the world to you. You'll be amazed at what happens.
What do you prefer, Chinese or French?
I'm too old to learn. It's very complicated. So I can't. I'll do what I can with good.
But given the situation in the country and the
Because now it's Mandarin, Chinese, Japanese, it's Korean.
Mandarin.
Yeah, those are the languages now. That's the English of tomorrow, as they always say.
So Kumar, you're a personal development trainer and a corporate etiquette trainer as well. So how did that change come about?
So when I quit TV and all that stuff, that again was the accident. I thought, look, I need to do something which I can take into my old age. See, as a trainer, a lot comes with your own experience. With all due respect to all the young trainers out there, all due respect to you. But the more you have lived and you have spoken to people, you've lived life. There's more that you can give out. So and it worked. It was so at the very beginning, people didn't accept me as a trainer. So I think 9 years ago, I had this other image that came. It was tough, but then when you proved yourself that you can do this thing, and it's just talking, just teaching people stuff about life, about behavior. Etiquette is how to behave. So in different situations you behave at table, at a funeral, at a bar. So it's all about that. And I learned on the job also. I told you, I'm not God's gift to mankind. So when you talk to me, I will learn something from you, and I pick it up and I absorb it. So I look to learn from people also. We learn to do job there. So nobody's God's gift to mankind. Nobody, just learn all the time from people there, to people here, and even minor stuff you learn something.
So how is your workshop structured? Like, do you do it personally or will you tie up with the organization?
It's a one-man show because I bring myself to it and my experience to it. Very selfishly, but it works. So I am the brand. I've always been my own brand. I've never linked with. But I work with CIPM. They present me in public workshop. There's also Srilanka. But mainly, so I market myself on social media. It's free marketing, cost free.
Let's talk more about your sessions. Like, how much do you charge? Is it by hour or?
It's on the module. I have different modules. One is I have the this thing called the Smart Corporate 4.5 hours foundation program. I mean, shaking hands, body language, mobile phone etiquette, toilet etiquette, sexual harassment in workplaces. How to sit, how to talk to people, all that. That's the whole foundation. Then there's communicating with confidence. You know stuff, but you're scared to talk. There's nervousness, there's fear. That's one. Then there's the art of looking good, hygiene and grooming. Before I wear perfumes and stuff and branded clothes, I need to smell good. We have some people's sweat stinks, bad breath. So we need to attend to all this. You're just cutting my head. You need to first attend to those things before you wear all this branded stuff. Then dirty feet. So that's one. So lots of stuff. I mean, mobile phone etiquette. There's a lot of stuff. It's all about.
Since you have done a lot of sessions with that, what do you feel now? Are we lacking in that department? Like majority?
Without being judgmental, I think yes. A lot of I work with hundreds and thousands of people out there, and lots of there are educated people, which is very good. But then I always talk of the wrapping paper. So you judge me on what you see. You don't know what I am. I can be a drug dealer. I can be anything as professor. So it's all about this. So I'm wrapping up my education experience in this package. We are all packages. So how to present the package? That's my job. The wrapping paper is what I work on.
Okay. You have 2 children.
Yes.
Let's talk about them a little bit.
They're very private human beings.
Are they here?
Yeah, one is upstairs and one is in Japan. My son is in Japan. He's out of his degree and he's working there. My daughter is in her 3rd year doing a degree in human resource management.
Okay. So how did you manage your fatherhood? When you were right on top in the media, how hard was it? Was it hard?
I managed. My wife, now ex-wife, was extremely supportive.
Okay.
So, and we also worked together. She and I ran a PR company, so we also worked together. So we worked from home, out of home. So I never had to go to an office. So you structure your work to take them to school, pick them up from school, this class, that class, all the sports. So I managed to balance it. And yes, I took my fatherhood very seriously. I still do actually. They get annoyed, but
yeah, that's a good thing. So, what plans do you have in your career? I mean, you have hit 60 now.
Yeah, December 20th. I would not retire this particular thing of training because the older you get, I think you would know more stuff. And I just want to do this. I'm writing a book now, the story of my life. It's called Gypsy.
Are you writing it yourself?
Yeah, I just started, but crawling through it. It's called Gypsy Tales. So I'm like a gypsy. We are all gypsies in life. We go from place to place and job to job. And so it's all about the stories, lots of stories.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
So writing your autobiography.
And one thing I would want to do is to teach English free of charge to poor children. That is the plan I had in my head, which I want to give back, totally free of charge, poor children.
Is there anything in particular that you do to maintain yourself at the age of 60? Okay, let me rephrase it. Are you worried that you're getting aged?
No, I'm not. See, mentally, I'm 30 years old. Very soon, I'll be my son's age. So yeah, I mean, I know. I mean, when our parents were old, they were like old, and but now 60 is young. I mean, I think now even the president said no, retire 60. But I mean that's technically yes, but then otherwise no. So no, I don't drink, I don't smoke. Whether it works or not, I don't know. But red wine, yes. I think it's the genes. I am after heart surgery 10 years ago. So I don't understand.
You take life as it comes.
Yes.
Okay. So how would you like to be remembered? Kumar de Silva.
I do not want to. What? So I'll come and go. There's other people coming. There'll be others coming. I'll be replaced by better people than me, for sure. There's so much of talent out there as TV presenters, as journalists, as trainers, as HR people, so much there out there. So it's gone. Gypsy through life, and then you're gone. And that's the story.
What advice or words of wisdom that you need to give for the upcoming presenters or any media personality for that matter?
Every word I said now in the past half to one. Every word was just, I was talking advice actually.
Yeah. Anything in particular, if you want to pinpoint just one line or two lines?
The word you want me to describe myself with be as, two words, as simple and humble as you can. I was born with nothing, I take nothing, I've done something in life, same with you.
Yeah.
So be remembered as a nice guy, not a. After 5 years, 10 years, you'll be completely forgotten.
Why don't you start training, media, like people who want to come, maybe out of school after A-levels, maybe young people who want to come into media. Why don't you, just a suggestion, why don't you start training them?
Well, nobody's asked me.
So I got a good idea. So he's available for that.
So I told my daughter, when I die one day, make me ash, put me into the sea in Ambalangoli, which is my ancestral village, and one little box of matches, matchbox of ash. It has to be dropped into the river Seine in Paris, behind the Notre Dame.
Not the Bengal. The one in Paris.
Because a little part of me, this is just weird stuff. A little part of me has to go there.
Okay. Any reason?
My second home, my spiritual home, my spiritual language. So I'm very much at home there. I'm like fish in water. So let a little part of me go and just go down to that.
That's it.
Yeah. Exact spot, all marked, all instructions given. Just to press the button and I tuck, it all happens.
If you don't mind me asking, what was the herb you on that?
Freaked out. I said no. I said take your time, no hurry. I'll be somewhere there.
They're looking at you if you're doing it or not.
Yeah, yes, I'm checking. So please do.
Otherwise, here I am not coming to haunt you.
Yeah, they freaked out a bit from that. But I was serious actually.
Okay. Alright, so that's your last wish.
And if you do inserts on this program, video inserts, if you can, I'll send you an image. This is the exact spot. If possible, it will appear on your screen right now. I'm standing there on this bridge, the exact spot there, and right behind far away you see the back of the famous Notre Dame Cathedral of Paris, going back centuries old.
Okay. One final question before we wrap things up. Well, what is this? You said yourself that it's your second home. What's the passion you have for France?
I think it's some strange coloring thing. It's so funny, When I go there,
I can see from your face, it changes.
It's funny. It's like I've been there before. You get this feeling. As a Buddhist, I'll understand why.
But the retrogression or something?
I just don't know. But see, I've been going back for the past 35 years, I think, up and down. And when I walk down the street, I think this is very familiar. I know this place. This sounds ridiculous. Marie Antoinette was beheaded on the guillotine as part of the French Revolution. And there was this place called the Conciergerie where she was imprisoned, a prison near by the river. And when I walked into that place, I thought, oh God, this is so familiar. This place is so familiar. And I just freaked out. So I don't know. I think it's a karmic bond or a karmic thing I had in France. Being a Buddhist, I believe I might have been there in a previous incarnation. That's the only logical explanation I can give myself according to what I believe.
So with that lovely French connection, we're going to wrap things up on this episode of Single Talks. And thank you so much, Kumar, for being with me on the show. It's a pleasure and it's an honor as well.
Thanks for having me. Merci beaucoup. Au revoir.
We'll talk to you again soon. Until then, have yourself a good one.